Welcome again to Community Focus. How are you, John?
How are you, John?
Not so bad this week. Geez, the weather's great, isn't it?
Fabulous, John.
And how's everything? Well, I can't ask you how things are going at work because we work in the same place. So.
Yeah, so we know.
We know what's going on anyway, so...
John, this week I think we're talking about substance abuse, I suppose, alcohol.
Addiction,
Addictions.
Yeah, John. I suppose to start with, there's about the supports out there, and I suppose when you think of addiction, you'd always think of the person that's afflicted by it, which is a terrible thing. But sometimes we have to remember there's a family and a circle around that. So there's a wonderful organisation there, and they're on John Street, but they'll support all the city, and it's called North Star Family Support Project, which were originally set up by parents of people suffering addiction. So they're a support project. They provide free support to families and those affected by another's drug, alcohol misuse. And they do great work, John. And we've even invited them to our registration day on the 5th of September to have a little table. And if people are coming in, to sign up for our classes, they can go over and pop over and say hello and find out a little bit more about them, which I think is nice.
That's nice, John.
Yeah.
That is nice, yeah.
So
they do great work up there.
Great work. And I suppose they're what they do is they offer a suite of interventions to empower the family and provide hope. Hope is a good thing. They provide time and space to people to speak freely and no one judges them. And it's a range of free support to meet the needs of all those family members and those that are affected by another person's. Because it's very important that the family can be deeply affected by somebody.
It's kind of a ripple effect, isn't it? There's like a stone dropped in the middle and it goes out in the middle of water and it just the rings keep going out and out,
And, it's very hard to watch somebody go down that route. So you need to mind those people too. And that's what they primarily do. And, great organisation.
And what's their contact details, John? Sorry,
they're in
just for the listeners.
Lovely name for the building, and it's called Hopeful House.
Oh.
And that's 28 John Street in Limerick. And you can contact them on 061 459 260. So that's 459 260. And they have a website, and the website is www.northstarproject.ie.
Very good.
So they'll have more information on that, or if you pop into our centre here, we'll be happy to pass that out.
That's great, John. Yeah, it's nice to know that there's actually places there for people that are unfortunately I think we're only on a step away from it ourselves. If life takes a wrong turn for you, it's very easy to turn to substance abuse or drink or gambling even. Gambling abuse, there's so many things going on now, and it's so easy to drink, because everything's for €1 or whatever, and if you go down that road, and then of course with the gambling, everything could be done by phone. Yeah,
you're right about the drink. Like even if you're going to a petrol station, you can get alcohol. Even if you're going to a supermarket, I might be mindful to think that, surely it shouldn't be as accessible. It's almost in your face. It's especially in a petrol station, it's almost an impulse buy, and I don't think drinking alcohol should be an impulse buy.
No, I don't think so.
It shouldn't be probably a lot of people would disagree with us as well. Like, a lot of people only have a couple of drinks weekends and stuff, and if you're going to take it out of there, make it harder for them to buy as well. It's not, but it is for people that have addictions. It would be hard.
So there's a kind of happy medium.
Yeah, happy medium between it. But no, this guy, John, and. There's also one here from the Limerick Drug and Alcohol Service, provides a range of services for those with misuse problems, including outreach, harm reduction, counselling, education and prevention, and methadone program as well.
Wow.
And they work with 14 to 25-year-olds that are affected by alcohol and drug abuse, John. And people 25 years plus, then they're affected by drug use. They work with people like that.
Oh.
The services actually provide a supportive, including one-to-one counselling, which is brilliant. I think some people will talk to a person on their own rather than have it in a group setting.
Yeah.
Outreach service, harm reduction services, including needle exchange, methadone program, and drug education and training, which I think that would be an interesting thing to bring into schools as well, because I couldn't tell you half the drugs out there, even there's loads of new stuff to me. There's new stuff coming on the market all the time, as I say, and
I believe cocaine now is the main drug available in this country, and crack cocaine because it's cheaper.
Right, and that's broken down into different particles. God knows what they're using.
You don't know. You don't know what they're cutting it with. So, So I suppose there is always this kind of debate around should certain drugs be legalized, because then you know the source, you know how pure and clean they are, and there is, like, you know, in certain countries they have clinics where people can go and use drugs, and they're monitored for
and they're monitored and safe.
And you know, I personally, I suppose, I do think that is something worth looking at anyway. But again, it's probably a happy medium.
Rather than having people on the streets and, and God knows what they're using, pumping into their arm with a needle that could be dirty.
Because if you're in a building and you're allowed to shoot up heroin or whatever, at least there's a nurse and a doctor
watching
should, you know, something go wrong. I don't think it's going to encourage people to take drugs, but it's certainly going to.
It would help with a lot of people mistakenly overdosing as well.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, you know, misadventure and stuff. You know, you can access this service, John, through services offer walk-in screening every Monday, except on bank holidays, which is brilliant. 2 to 4 p.m. no appointment or referral needed, which is great as well. Limerick Drug and Alcohol Service. This the address then: Limerick Drug and Alcohol Service, Corporate House, Mungo Street, Limerick. And the HSE National Drug and Alcohol Helpline as well is there, and you can telephone them on 1800 459 459 there as well, John. So they have actually an email as well. If anyone was, you can email the HSE or email them at hselive@hse.ie, and then they have an ordinary email with www.hse.ie. I was just looking at this report yesterday, John, from the HRB. It's 2 years old now, actually, between 2019 and 2020, which shows more people are using illegal stimulants, smoking less, and binge drinking remains high, which is a surprise. Especially with younger people, because binge drinking years ago, binge drinking years ago, John, was like, even in my case, my father, a lot of Muslims gone, he didn't drink for months on end, and then he would go maybe 3 days binge drink, and then he could stay off for months again.
I suppose people then were able to say, well, I'm not an alcoholic because I'm able to stay off it so long.
But I think
those 3 days could be
it's like 3 weeks, 3 months. You're getting the same.
It's chaos. Your life is chaos. So
you know,
that is a problem.
Yeah, that is actually a problem, and people kind of, well, even when I'm younger myself, sure, I'm only drinking weekends, you know, and your binge drink weekends, we're going around.
And there is this culture, we have it here and the UK, and I think it's like, you know, there's a bit of bravado. I had a great night.
Imagine how many points, how many points you could drink is a great night.
You need to move this away from that and the continental way of having the meal with the family. You have your couple of drinks.
And leave it at that.
And it's an occasion where we come together and talk, and rather than, you know, wearing a traffic cone on your head.
That's right.
Street.
You know, your pants around your ankles. Yeah, John. No, it is. You know, they reckon this was a couple of years ago. 1 in 14, which is 7% of people, have used illegal drugs in the last year, and that hasn't changed since they did the last one in 2014-15. So that was, as I said again, it's 2 years ago. There has been at that time an increase of number of people, which have probably gone up even more now. Using illegal stimulants such as cocaine, ecstasy, amphetamines, and small decrease in the number of people using cannabis.
All right.
That was, but cannabis now, is that counted as, that'd be weed, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people's issue with it is it's felt that the long-term effects, like the psychosis and all that, but the other thing is it could lead to harder drugs. And I suppose there's always studies done in that. I don't know if I have a...
You're caught between a rock and a hard place there.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people use it for relaxation, or people that are in pain.
Yeah.
Administer some in their tea and
cannabis oil
and stuff like that. So, some ways maybe that works.
Yes.
In other ways, it doesn't. You know, and it says from between 15 and 24-year-olds, the most likely to report drug use. Men are twice as likely as women to use drugs, which is frightening.
Yeah, well, that says a lot about our mindset, maybe.
We're bravado,
we're bored, or we need other things. But they always say, us men need a kind of a hobby. You know, we need something to occupy our mind. And actually, at times, you know, I'm glad of my own hobbies, and because it does keep you occupied.
It does keep you. It does actually keep you occupied. You know, and it's. But your hobby is music.
Yeah, yours as well, really.
And the radio station, but you know yourself, is great for us.
Yeah.
We thank Limerick City Community Radio for leaving us on it. And it's a great. I'd recommend any young person.
You know we're on it to do.
I hope so. We've probably one listener, but it's just even young people out there that are looking for hobbies. I would advise them to get involved in radio station or volunteer in places like that, because it's great even for just your soul.
Absolutely.
And I suppose the difference, not generalising here now, between girls, I suppose, is girls traditionally are better able to talk about their feelings and stuff, and when men have problems, we bury it down, and we resort to things then that we shouldn't, just to kind of let it out there. Yeah. Whereas girls can meet in groups and chat, and that's something that the more, I suppose, men could learn from.
Well, we could learn a lot from even in our.
So that's probably I'd say that adds to the statistic. To guess.
It does. They said then this as well, that a wider range of drugs are being used since the previous survey, with 25% of those who used drugs in the last year reporting use of at least 3 different drugs compared to 15% in 2014-15. And I'd say that's a lot higher now again. And the concoctions of mixing drugs can't be right.
You see people that, in the street that you might have seen a few months ago, and then you've seen them, their faces are sunken and rings around their eyes, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
It's a life, it's a waste.
It is.
And they are somebody's child, or they were somebody's baby, and we always lack of judgment is a good thing, and but it's kind of sad to see that.
We do tend to judge people by the book cover rather than what's inside, really, don't we?
Do. Yeah. And everybody's born the same. We all start out with all the same potential.
We
don't get that
dreams.
It's important to nurture early and make sure that you're guided by strong hands.
Well, they do say walk in my shoes for the day, and absolutely, live my life. 9 in 10 people support the use of cannabis for medical purposes, which
I think that's.
I think so as well.
Guess that.
If people are in terrible pain and stuff,
absolutely.
I would, and while less than 3 in 10 support recreational use.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. They're specifically looking. It's like there's a chap on the internet. He is, I think it was MS, and he was fidgeting quite a lot. But they showed him the study was about a minute later, after having some cannabis oil under his tongue, he was able to stop and speak, and his body movement was more fluid. And so I'd say there's plenty of studies there that support that.
Pluses for it, yeah. Did Michael J. Fox take something like that? It was Michael J. Fox. Has he got the MS?
It was Parkinson's.
Parkinson's, yeah.
I believe it works with Parkinson's as well. I'm sure in America now there's a lot of states it's legal anyway.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's a route that you might see us open up to, because in our European counterparts, it's certainly legal in most places.
I think we need to study things here in Ireland for that, especially with pain reliefs and things, and people going through terrible pain there, and that will be administered to them, and it's and in the areas that are most and least deprived, there was very little difference from prevalence drug use to common places. So where you have places like where I'm from, South Hill, St Mary's, Weston, Kennedy Park. There's even Carberley, Cardaven, the so-called. There's still the same use of drugs in all these areas. A lot of people mixed up in business and things that are under high pressure as well. I think, with pressure and everything, has a lot of people taking stuff that they wouldn't.
Yeah, work pressures. And they go out and they want to unwind as much as possible, but it is at the detriment to their health.
It is. Eventually it catches up with you. Eventually catches up with you.
Yeah. So
it says here then there are fewer smokers than ever before.
As well, isn't it?
Yeah. The current survey, as I said, this is 2 years ago, first time that the proportion of ex-smokers was found to be greater than the current smokers.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing for Ireland.
It's a good thing, yeah. We're the third, I think I read somewhere around the third or fourth most expensive country in the world for cigarettes.
We are actually, We're the dearest in Europe at the moment for everything, but
cigarettes.
Cigarettes, Health concerns are one of the big things for it, because we've got more inept with our adapted to our health. Yeah. Cost and health.
Yeah.
Of course, is a big thing. Cost is a big thing.
Absolutely.
Warning labels, which were cited as main reasons for quitting.
Yeah.
So they're working, where a lot of people said they wouldn't.
Oh, there's horrible pictures as well.
I remember my father and mother. Well, my mother hadn't smoked for 40 years. She gave them up just like that, John. My father. And it'd be, I think there were more rash years ago. There was actually person's lungs on it, showing their results.
Yeah.
And sure,
I suppose it's a scare tactic, but if it works, then we know it's a good
yeah,
thing.
if it works, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And finishing up on this, then 1 in 5 drinkers have an alcohol use disorder.
Okay.
It increases 1 in 3 among drinkers aged 15 to 24. Drinkers with AUD, as they call it, were 13 times more likely to experience alcohol-related harm compared to low-risk drinkers.
No. Okay.
So I wonder, is there a gene there that we have in our bodies that we have an addictive gene?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. And you look, there's the other thing as well. If you grow up in a house with an alcoholic, there's a very good chance.
Very good chance
it has the opposite effect. You might think it might scare you off, but sometimes it does. But sometimes, you see and you think it's normal. That rationalizes and normalizes it as a child. That's what whoever dad or mom done or whoever it may be, and therefore you think that's just
kind of makes it normal. That's the way it is.
You don't realize not everyone's home is like that.
No. I know 2 or 3 lads, the mates that I have that I worked with a couple of years back, and they had alcohol problems. One was a father, 2 were mothers, which I think probably is worse at times when your mother.
Yes,
because the mother is always the mainstay of the house.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, as a nation, we kind of if you said someone has a drink problem in your house, you'd probably automatically think it's the male, not the female.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And they turned
stat that you called out there.
Yeah, and they turned against drink altogether. The 3 boys never drank, through experiences of alcohol in the house,
It's lovely to see people battle through it and come up the other side, isn't it? It's lovely.
It's great.
It's a massive achievement.
It is a massive achievement.
Should be celebrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be, and fair play to anyone that has done that.
Absolutely.
And come through it. They're braver person than I would be. I think if I was in a thing like that, I'd find it very hard to.
It is hard. I mean, it's addiction. It's called addiction.
Yeah, for a reason. Yeah.
But and it's the socially acceptable one, almost, isn't it? Because.
But it is, you're judged on how many points you can drink.
Yeah. And you can buy it anywhere.
Yeah. But now the best thing is, John, that if you want a drinker and you go out, you have that non-alcoholic beer, so you're not the one sitting there with the mineral and stuff.
I remember people saying, "I never trust a fella that doesn't drink." I mean, that's a ridiculous statement in itself. I mean, that's where we go wrong.
I think it's we're back in the golden days. I think with this thing, like down the pub and the big pint of Guinness, and then
it's drinking culture.
But John, they're 2 fantastic things today, John. Geez, fair play to you for finding them now,
I suppose with the alcohol thing, I was just everyone knows Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah,
everybody knows
I think
it.
that's people even get a surprise when they hear Gamblers Anonymous.
Yeah,
but everyone knows alcohol.
But you know what I didn't know, John, and I didn't. Do you hear of the 12 Steps program? And I didn't know what that.
No,
I don't. I know 1 or 2 of them. So I suppose if we have time, just to maybe just have a look at what they are. So when you first take this, the kind of the first steps into AA, I suppose you receive the 12 steps as a kind of a guide. And so the first one is we admit that we're powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. So you have to admit you have a problem.
Which is
once you do that,
I think you're on the right road. I think if you admit,
the denial is out the door then. So you come to believe with a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And that I believe that doesn't have to mean God. That could mean family. That could mean love. So you don't have to, say you're a religious person. So it's inclusive. The other one, I suppose, you make a decision to turn your will and your lives over to the care of that higher power as you understand it. So you're entirely ready then to remove all these defects of character. And you look to remove your shortcomings. And I believe part of it as well is you kind of apologise for wrongdoings that you do.
Yeah.
Which is very tough, especially with alcohol.
It's a brave person that does admit that,
So some people won't accept that.
No, I think even as a nation, I think a drinking nation, we tend to kind of blame, such and such a thing happened and I went out and had a drink or such and such a thing. I think it's our way of accepting that we have a problem.
Yes. Because you have to make a list of all those persons, and I'd say that list would be tough.
I'd say it'd be tough. Right. You don't see it on paper. Yeah.
And then it's coming back to you, and then asking them, "Can you?" So you have to take personal inventory and admit when you're wrong. So you have to take stock of what you've done and say, "Look, I'm wrong there. Don't blame anyone else. Don't blame, what happened as a child. You've made these bad decisions that have led you there." So that's kind of it. You're looking to have this reawakening then, and just a different view on life. And anyone I've ever talked to that has gone through it, their lives are so much better without
Yeah,
the
actually,
addiction.
A lot of people actually go into counselling, they actually
Yeah,
become counsellors
yeah.
from it,
Yeah.
But it's I have to say it's credit to anyone that can come out of the depths,
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Definitely.
and as I said, you don't know what's going on in people's lives that kind of force them into this, but everyone I think is just a hair's breadth away,
Absolutely.
unfortunately, from.
You could have a trigger, and you could have one after it.
That's right.
And you're suddenly in a dark place, and it's you're deeper.
Bereavement, I think, is one of the big ones. That's a few people.
Marriage
breakdown is another one. Having your house repossessed is a massive one now at the moment. This is
a bereavement in that itself.
That's a bereavement. Yeah. Besides the death in the family, I think having your house repossessed is.
There's a snapping point, isn't there, with everyone?
Well, your hopes and dreams have gone into that, and that house. You've put everything into it. Then for someone and the government needs, I think, to look into that a bit more. Yeah. People's having their houses repossessed. And the aftermath of it, because you're just thrown on a scrap heap, really, and your house is taken.
You are.
And, where'd you go?
Well, we're not in a good place at the moment.
No, we're not, John.
Do we have time to talk about one more?
Yeah, no problem, John.
There's another organisation that's becoming a bit more prominent lately, and they're around a while. They're around there, 50 years now, and they're called Cool Mind. And they help overcome addiction and they support recovery. So, I suppose Cool Mind Therapeutic Community, it's a charity and it supports and empowers people to overcome their addictions, and they've been helping people overcome in Ireland since 1973, which is amazing. And their services, they say now, are needed more than ever. So they help to provide treatment, one-to-one support. They'll support you in your various stages of recovery. They have a mother and child residential treatment program, and it's the only one in Ireland. Because often they reckon a major barrier for mothers seeking treatment is that they're afraid to leave their children or simply don't have anyone to support them at that stage, which, if they're the only one in Ireland, that's amazing. It's really, really good.
It's very good now, John.
It's looking at
I've never heard of that place.
No, they're coming around a lot now, and I believe they're becoming more prominent in our community, and they become a community partner with the ETB, so they deliver certain classes based around this.
Oh, very good.
So look, any of our fellow kind of community stakeholders that do kind of help to support people who are firmly behind it.
Well, that's great, John. Yeah. And how would you contact those people?
They have a website, and it's just www.coolmind, COOLMINE.ie, and they're on Facebook, just Facebook Cool Mind, and they have a Dublin number is their national one, so it's 01827 0003, and they have they'll put you on to local people then. So their therapeutic community is in Ringwood Centre in Damastown Close in Dublin, but they are localised as well. That'll be head office.
And would they have? I presume they have places, John, that you can go to, like just to meet other people in the same, which which is good. I think that helps.
Yeah,
I think, like, as being addicted to some substance, I think you'd at times you're alone. It's a lonely life, and you think you're the only one that's out there. So, and it's nice to know, nice in a bad way, I presume, to know that there's other people in.
There's a lot of hope in kind of togetherness, isn't there?
Which is.
Yeah, I mean they provide stabilisation programs. They have drop-in services, like you were just asking about. Day programs, they have residential programs. They do education, as I said earlier. Community employment they do as well, like community employment, and right through to lifelong aftercare. So I suppose you're right the way you're always an alcoholic. Yeah. Make sure you stay there. And we all have our bumps then after.
Have that little word.
Yeah.
It's a voice in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Just
But it's like the smokers giving up 20 years ago. They still fantasize about having a cigarette, and you need these, and they'll provide that aftercare support when you may be better, but you still are always, I suppose, available to kind of those.
That's great, John. They're very interesting places now. And thanks very much, John, for that today. You've done a lot of research, actually, over the last couple of days now.
Thanks, sir.
In fairness, sure. And we hope this has helped someone out there listening to Limerick City Community Radio. And we hope, as John said, like, you're not on your own. And if you need to seek help, there's plenty of places there. And just even get in contact with us here or anything. And we will always forward information confidential information to the people that need it
Absolutely.
and things like that. So
Happy to do so.
thanks very much, John, for joining today. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we want to thank Limerick City Community Radio again for leaving us on the airwaves. You're getting a very posh accent, John, since you started into a microphone.
It's my phone voice, yeah.
It is, yeah. Wait to hear us when we're off, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't understand a word we say.
And thanks for joining again today, John. And we'll talk to you all again in 2 weeks' time. And you'll be listening to Community Focus on Limerick City Community Radio through St Mary's Adult Education Centre on the Island Road. Have a great rest of your weekend. Goodbye.
I see your expression when the phone rings. We both know there's something happening here. There's no sense in dancing around the subject. A wound gets worse when it's treated with neglect. Well, don't turn now. There's nothing here to fear. Inside, hidden deep from view. Do I seem all that hard? Is it all that done? Now I show you all my cards. Well, isn't that enough? You can have your word, but there's something you can do. You can talk to me. Though we lay face to face and cheek to cheek, our voices stray from the common ground where they could meet. The walls run high.